Hi everyone. Oh, I just had to click the I had to click the button so I could uh see you guys joining and see your messages. Hi Queen Dawkins. I'm great. How are you? Thank you for asking. Hi everyone. Oh, thank you. I love a good pair of hoop earrings. So, hi everyone. Oh gosh, there's so many of you jumping on here. So nice to see everyone. Oh, more from Kentucky. I had a ton of people from Kentucky last week too. I was actually talking about maybe going down there and doing some work because I have a lot of clients from there and am starting to make regular visits there anyway. I was telling people last week about how my family is from there. So your hair is so adorable. Oh, thank you. This is I haven't washed it in a week, and we're in the pre-oil phase for the next 2 days, and then I'll wash it and set it. So, oh, good. I'm glad you like the soaps that I make. I love making my soaps. Is there going to be someone in my life soon? Hi, James. I don't do readings live, so I'm not sure who does, but unfortunately, I can't answer that for you. I'm not a psychic. Sorry. Hello from Southern Illinois. Hi, oh, I'm glad you liked the products. Queen Dawkins, what can I do to protect my apartment from negativity? Maybe something I can place at my doors or windows. Not sure. Yes, I would recommend iron nails for one, four-sided iron nails. You can also put black salt and red brick dust around the perimeters of all of your threshold. So, like your windows and your doorways. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate it. It was literally just throw some oil in it and put it up and stick a fake poppy in there. So as long as it's working. How does your Santa Muerte bring back your ex, and how will the ex act as an obsessed, crazy, stalk dangerously in love? Um, so Santa Muerte is known for, well, you can use, there are many caminos of Santa Muerte, so it depends what camino you're working with, what color robe you're working with. Um, so, and she can be used to return lovers, that's true. But there's not any, unless it's specified in the goal that you would want the ex to come back like crazed and obsessed, which I don't know why anyone would, that's not going to happen because the spirit can only do what you direct it to do with the working. So that's not something I would have to worry about with my work because I, it doesn't make any sense to um, make more problems for the client. So if I'm making the problem of making their ex come back obsessed and stalked, first of all, that's harming my client. It's putting them in a potentially dangerous situation. It is irresponsible. It's bad for business. So there are many reasons why I would not do that. I have no reason to inflict harm in my clients' lives. So I would never direct a spirit to come back as obsessed or with any sort of malintent. So it's all about you and directing the spirit, being very clear with your goals. So I missed a question. Let me see. Thank you so much for the fast shipping on the master route. Oh, you're welcome. I'm starting to get back on top of things after the really crazy winter. I made water cleanse my steps and doorways and sprinkling my property in class, my windows. I declare war and negativity coming my way. Yeah, that sounds like a great practice that you have going on there. So sounds like you're definitely doing, a lot to protect your home. So Saint Expedite feast day is approaching. I petitioned him not too long ago for a court case matter. Can I give him an offering on his feast day prior to him fulfilling my request? You can, but Saint Expedite is an interesting spirit, and I recommend that you wait until your request is fulfilled to do a big offering. Like, I would, for right now, usually when we petition him, we put out some pound cake. That's one of his favorites. So I would recommend you put that. You can go ahead and put that out. I would have done that along with my petition, and then wait again until it's fulfilled to do another offering. Hello, Stacy. I missed one. Where do you find the music you listen to? Pandora. Pandora question mark. Let me specify that. Um, I'm not sure if you're talking about like Orisha music or whatnot, but if you go on YouTube and you type in Orisha music or Santeria music, you'll find lots of really great music and songs that come up. A lot of it is Cuban. A lot of it will have traditional dance videos that go with it. So yeah, I would look on YouTube and I would look up Orisha music or Santeria music. Oh, you're welcome. Oh yeah, you're welcome, you guys. Is Santa Muerte a closed practice? I ask because I'm trying to research my grandmother's witchcraft practice, but not much is known in my family. Um, I Santa Muerte is worshipped by a huge, huge population in Mexico. So I personally do not think you have to be initiated into that particular path to work with Santa Muerte. There are going to be people who tell you different because from where they come from, it is different. So my experiences are only my experiences, and that's all that I can tell you from. So I personally don't think that you have to be initiated into a specific path to work with her caminos. I had a bottle of rum on my altar for Elegua. Should I pour him? Should I pour him a shot on Mondays or leave the bottle whole? I recommend, okay, so offerings, this is a pretty general rule with offerings, is that when you serve offerings, you're serving them like you're serving a guest in your home. So if somebody would walk into your home and typically you would hand them a bottle of rum for them to help themselves, well, then I guess that's fine. Personally, I would make them a drink. I would pour it for them. So you serve the spirits in your home like you would serve the finest guests coming to your home. So that's why we always give them the first portion of each meal, things like that. Okay, and it also goes along with disposing offerings. When you would no longer serve it or consume it yourself, then you throw it away or you can set it outside to be returned to the earth. So those are the general rules with offerings. You're welcome. I hope that that helped. I'm so surprised there's so many people on here. This is my first time live on YouTube. So, I'm because I haven't been on YouTube. I haven't done any videos on here in a long time because I've been trying to get the whole Instagram thing down and which I'm still relatively new to. Um, but I'm glad that you're all here today because there's a lot of you. Great info on offerings. Thank you. I was waiting for you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Sarah. I just want to make sure they're coming kind of fast and I can read very quickly, but I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Do you have different altars for the different spirits? I have my working altar is dedicated to Marie Laveau, which I am a devotee of. I also have um, uh, Martha La Damadora on there, or Mami Wada, she's also known as, and I also have a St. Joseph statue on there. That's my working altar. So that's where I do all of my work for clients. I have a separate altar for Elegua, and I have two adjoining altars on each side of that for Ogun and Ochosi because they're the three brothers. I have a separate altar for Santa Muerte because typically you don't want to feed her along with other spirits. The same for Oya and Mama and Brigitte. I have a separate altar for them because you don't feed them at the same time as you feed other spirits. So I would say one, two, three, four, five. I would say five altars at this point inside, and I have outdoor altars as well. Okay. Instagram is so confusing, but it's popping. Yeah. I've gotten a handle on Instagram, I think, but yeah, there's a lot going on there. So glad I found your channel. You're so knowledgeable. Thank you. You're amazing. That's why we showed up. Oh, you guys are so sweet today. You guys have the best energy. Thank you. Your videos are so helpful. Thank you for sharing with us. Oh, I'm glad that you find them helpful. That's my main goal is to just try to be uplifting and supportive and put my experiences out there, which of course that's really all I can give you is my experiences from the last 20 years. I can't really, I don't claim to be an expert on anything or anybody's coach or anything like that, or I don't do anything like that. So I just try to interact with people who are of similar mindset, and so we can learn and grow with each other. Let me see here. I missed one. What do you know about Pombashira? Well, for one, I know that's how her name is pronounced. And I also know she also has many caminos, so there are many avatars of her as well. I think I know of probably at least nine different caminos of Pombashira. So I'm not sure what exactly information you were looking for, but I studied more on her the last time I was in working in New Orleans, which was last June. So I learned every time I go back there, I do some more studying on her, um, and her caminos because, like I said, there are so many different facets of her. So yeah, I guess I would because it's such a broad spectrum of a spirit, I would have to have um, a more honed in question on that. What are your thoughts on the long-standing argument in the Hoodoo community about non-African descent? People have no business practicing conjure. I'm trying to see everything. Sorry. Um, well, I actually addressed this in my last Instagram live. So if you want to go back to the last video on my YouTube here, which is my Instagram live, which is recorded on here, you can see my response to that. So I obviously what I touched on in that was that our current voodoo queen is white. Marianne Glassman is white. Um, Marie Laveau was an octoroon, pardon that term, but that was the term they used during her time. So she was actually only 1/4 black, or no, excuse me, 1/8 black and 7/8 white. So she was predominantly white. So that'll just sort of give you an idea of where I'm going. You know, you people who and like I said, I touched on this whole thing in the last video, so you feel free to go back there. But you know, we can't ignore the melding pot that is our country, and hoodoo was born here, and New Orleans voodoo was born here. So we can't ignore all of the different paths and traditions and peoples that help make that up. Indigenous peoples, Jewish peoples, Italian peoples, so it's we can't just ignore their presence, right? No, nobody's presence and ethnicity and culture and history and traditions want to be ignored. So we need to acknowledge that it takes all of those to make up our own folk tradition here, which is hoodoo. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna try to see real quick. Hi from South Jersey. In honey jars, how do you incorporate a picture? You put a picture inside. You would get it all dressed up with your oils and your powders, and you would put it inside the honey jar. I hope that's what you're asking. I'm not sure. I've missed a lot of questions. I received my black soap from you today. I love that it's authentic. It smells divine. Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad that you like it. It's really great for your skin. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, okay. There are some hateful videos out there. Yeah, I'm sure there are. I would recommend not watching those. So, what you what you put into your eyes goes into your brain. So, I just want you to be aware of that. Glad to see you on here. Sarah's amazing. Oh, you guys are so sweet today. Currently working a 9-day novena for me. Yep. Yeah. Very friendly and informative. Thank you for all you do. Oh, my pleasure. I will go back and check it out. Yeah, I would recommend you go back on that video because I can touch a lot more on it here. I seen a video of yours last night about working things into your life. So this morning I woke up and played Native American music and cut an apple for offering and myself lit my incense. Was peaceful. That's awesome. Those little small changes and ways of acknowledging magic and just the divine and giving thanks and gratitude and putting it out there are really the most comprehensive and the biggest step that you can take for inviting blessings into your life, you know? Oh, thanks for stopping by, Carolyn. Yeah. So yeah, the just those small steps of, you know, taking care of your body, being conscious of what food you're putting into your body, what music you're putting into your ears, what movies and television shows you're watching. All of those things, you know, you need to be. I don't watch violent films. I don't watch television. Um, those are things that I choose to abstain from in my life because I don't feel like they have anything to add to my life. So I just encourage you to do the same. Be careful what music you're listening to. You know, put things that enhance and enrich your life and your body and your mind into yourself. Don't put things that are hateful and negative and violent and um, I think we should all try to abstain from that. So last night, oops, typo. My quest for new knowledge. There's all kinds of crap that comes up with the good info. Thank you, Mama Sarah. You're welcome. I hope that I don't. Yeah, I think it's best to stick to books, honestly. I have a big recommended reading list on my website. It's best to stick to books from reputable authors that you can read reviews on rather than videos, which is funny for me to say since I do videos, but I don't watch anybody else's videos unless they're like a friend or a really close colleague, which once in a while I'll pop on their thing to say hi. But I don't sit down and watch other people's YouTube videos or, I don't want to risk seeing something that is just taking up time and space in my life. So I'm very new to this. I have a basic altar. How do you feed the laughing Buddha? Thank you. I don't know what you have on your altar. Um, It sounds like you have, I forget the name for them. There's a different name for them. But my light keeps going out. Sorry, guys. That thing, I always have that problem with this thing. Every video, like, I think I got a dud. um, I would, offerings of incense and water and citrus are always great for any spirit. That's pretty universal. So that's what I would recommend. I'm gonna give this thing a minute here. Maybe it's timed out. So I hope that helped a little bit. I don't particularly have that statue to do offerings to. Uh, there's a new book out called The Door to Witchcraft by Tanya Brown. I thought you might enjoy. I'm just one chapter in, but it's very good. Oh, thanks for the recommendation. I've got a stack of about 30 books I'm in the middle of now, which is not unusual for me at all. That's pretty much par for the course for me. So. So yeah, thanks you guys for stopping on here. I'm gonna try to hang out on here for about an hour like I do on my Instagram lives. Um, I'm surprised there's a lot more people on YouTube than there is on Instagram, and I thought it would be the opposite. Do you recommend anyone for psychic development? The lady who did my birth chart reading insists that my life's purpose, particularly mediumship. Yeah, I would recommend you visit Miss Melinda's Metaphysical Services. You can type that in, and her site will pop up. And she does coaching and helps develop psychic gifts and things like that. So that's who I would recommend you talk to. I've known Melinda for like 20 years. So that's who I would recommend. I don't do coaching, I don't do psychic development. So yeah, that's always going to be the person that I recommend. Someone I know told me she wants to hex a 20-year-old person. I'm not in agree with that because I've heard that you can't do it for people less than 25. I've never heard that in my life. You can hex whoever you want to hex. I don't think you should be hexing a 20-year-old because 20-year-olds, they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. So whatever they did, they probably didn't do it intentionally. So there's no reason to hex them. Just let them go on their little irresponsible, immature way and let them learn from it. The universe will handle that. There's no reason to waste your time on a 20-year-old. I have never heard that in my life, though. That's funny. I have some funny things, some funny rules come up once in a while. Should Saint expedite me on a separate altar I have currently with Hanuman and Lakshmi? No, I think that's fine. I've never heard that he needs his own altar, and in fact, I think he works really well with other deities and saints and spirits, so I don't have any issue with that. And I think Hanuman and Lakshmi are great fits for him also. Great companions, I love your oils. I had just ordered some more. I have began to work with the saints and also doing journaling every day. Can already see a difference in my life. Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, Rosie. Wonderful. Well, blessings on your path. Thanks for the candid answer. You're welcome. That's really the only kind of answer I know how to give. So I'm a pretty, I've heard a lot that I'm a straight shooter in my life. I've heard that term more times than I can count. So I don't know if that's a good thing, but I mean, at least you know I'm not going to be fake with you or sugarcoat it. So I don't know what to tell you. Do you help with fertility? I do. I actually just did a work last week for a client. That falls under custom workings on my site because it is more in depth and it's more advanced work. It takes a longer amount of time and there's a lot more involved with it. But yes, I do, and I would be happy to speak with you about that if you want to email me, which is conjuredcardia@gmail.com. I pray to Saint Expedite, but he does not come through. Why doesn't he like me? It's not a matter of a saint liking you or not. Maybe it just didn't arrive in the way you were expecting. Maybe you didn't get the answer you were expecting, or maybe it just hasn't come yet. But there's not really, it's not a matter of a saint or a deity liking or not liking somebody. That has nothing to do with it. Um, it's best not to internalize or take things personally, things that we don't have a whole lot of control over. Are you making regular offerings to him? I guess would be my first question with that. Oh, the Jupiter packet. Everyone wants me to comment on that. So, packets are a very old practice. I don't really see anybody work with them anymore. I offer several varieties on my website. It's a really nice little sort of offering and gree all in one. What you do is I make the packets and I sell them on my site, and they're for specific purposes, obviously. Um, and you soak them in rum or whiskey and you allow it to dry out for 24 hours, and then you would add it to your mojo as a sort of built-in gree and offering all in one. So that's sort of the really short condensed version of what a packet is. And the Jupiter one in particular that I posted about is we call on Jupiter for wealth and prosperity, abundance, things like that. So the square of Jupiter is a numerical sequence that has to do with evoking those energies. Yay, I'm catching a live video. Oh, good. Hi, Punky. Thanks for joining. Hello, hello. So yeah, I'm just answering some sort of quick ideas, questions coming out there. I love everything I've purchased, especially the Freda soap. Erzuli Freda soap is what she's talking about, or he. It's a she, Denise. I will be making some more. Oh my gosh, there are a lot of things on here. Do you believe the 3 times 3 rule of karma applies to hoodoo works? No, I don't believe in the law of three. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're getting at, but I I don't believe in the law of three. So I don't believe that what you put out comes back to you times three. That's not something that is accepted in Vodou or Hoodoo. Which conferences do you recommend? I love your work and products. I would be willing. Hi, Dominica. I don't have any right now. I think we spoke about this through email, which ones I don't recommend. So I was at Bayou Bone Fest last year, and that was a great time. So they're having that in not Salem, Massachusetts this year, but in Massachusetts, Boston. So I do recommend them. So that is one you could look into for sure. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep up, guys. Oracle cards of ancestors that I have from a past life. I've told I have a lot of Aboriginal ancestors. Yeah, sure. If you feel called to buy them, I don't. They certainly can't hurt. So yeah, if you feel called to buy them, go ahead. Um, what day do you recommend doing a money spell on? I recommend Thursday is my first choice and Sunday is my second choice. Good afternoon. You're more beautiful in person. Oh, you guys are so lovely. What sweethearts. Um, yeah. Yeah, that's what I would recommend. Thursday is my top pick because that's Jupiter's day, and Sunday is next because that's ruled by the sun, and I always have really good results with prosperity work with all that solar energy. So if you want to get even more involved, you can look up a planetary hours chart, and that will show you on the day. So if you're on Thursday, and then you can scroll down, you can look through the chart down to what is Jupiter's hours on those days, and then you can work within those 2 hours. So that's another thing that I really like to do. If I really, that's how I schedule my client work. I schedule by astrological correspondence days of the week, and then again by planetary hours. So I try to make things as really as detailed as possible. I did a bitch begun working on someone, and he quickly moved out of state to take care of a dying family member. Do you think that was my fault? I never wished. No, you don't have any control over whether someone dies or not. That has absolutely nothing to do with you. So obviously the answer is no. I can't control when people die. You can't control when people die. Nobody else can control when people die. People are going to die when they're going to die. So no, it has nothing to do with you. Try not to internalize or view things, where you be from you as the center, because you're not the center. How many tattoos do I have? It's better if I tell you hours. I've probably got at least 20 hours worth of tattoo. So it's easier for me to just tell you the amount of hours than it is the actual number of tattoo. Ah, beautiful as always. Thank you, Norma. I want to say thank you for helping me with my spiritual journey. Thank you to your strength. You gave me strength up to beat my depression, and I am so comfortable in myself now. Oh, that is so wonderful, Norma. That's awesome. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. And I'm sure that you're going to continue to just keep beating it, and things, more and more blessings are just going to unfold for you. So I really, really pray that for you. What route do you recommend for me to have success and protection at work? I would recommend a high John route and a master route. Those are Either one of those are good choices. Uh, I think both of those working together would be really great for you. What is your favorite way to rid of hex? I'm not certain what that means, to get rid of a hex. That would depend on what exactly are the symptoms from the hex. So that's not a one answer thing. That's not a simple answer. A good ritual for Papa Legba. I would recommend black coffee. I would recommend sweets. He likes sweets, and I would recommend leaving those things at a crossroads for him. Or cemetery gates, either one would work. Are there any hoodoo classes, courses you recommend? Not that I know of, I'm sorry. Not online. I don't know of any, sorry. Missed you, glad to see you live. Oh, nice to see you. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys, for joining. I can't believe there's so many people on here. I didn't think anybody was going to be on here. I wanted a reading by you, but don't know which one. My questions are complicated. Uh, I would recommend you contact me via email. I don't do my readings anymore. About 2 years ago, I hired a reader who works here with me at the House of Hoodoo. Her name is Diana, and she takes care of all the readings now because my uh, client caseload is was no longer accommodating tarot readings for about the last 4 years, and I wanted to be able to offer them. So when I hired her as my assistant, I also offered her the job to take over readings if she wanted it, and she did. And so she handles them now. So feel free to email me at conjuredcardia@gmail.com, and I can suggest which one of Diana's readings would be best for you. I want to start making mojo bags. What would you recommend for putting in them? That depends on what the mojo bag is for. So obviously what type of mojo bag it is going to determine what ingredients go in it. It's like making a German chocolate cake. A German chocolate cake is going to have different ingredients than a hummingbird cake. There's not just one type of cake. Best cleansing rituals for this spring. I like to open up all my doors and windows, and I like to, if you've had a good season, continue to sweep from the front of your house to the back of your house and then throw the dirt out, like outside away. If you've had a bad winter, I would recommend sweeping from the back of your house to the front to push out the bad luck. So one is to bring more good luck in, and the other one is to push bad luck out. So that's the first thing I recommend. And then I recommend a good wash with mopping with Florida water and bluing. So those are a couple of my favorite cleansings. Do you have new products? I do. I just listed a black tobacco order oil a GTFB oil. My Divine Beauty Balm is also listed. I'm working on some coffee conjure candles. There's lots, I always have lots of things in the works. Yay, I caught you live. What's a good magical way to bring an abundance of motivation into your life? I have trouble with procrastination. I would work on working with Mars, so that's Tuesday. So typically that isn't what I would recommend for most people. But since you mentioned procrastination, and Mars has really good manifestation and movement power, also Mercury, which is Wednesday. So I recommend that you look into working with on Tuesdays and Wednesdays rituals with the both of them to sort of get your energy to stop it from being stagnated, okay? And to get it moving. So those are the two things I would recommend. Tuesday, um, I would do green candles, and Wednesday I would do blue candles. And I would just start out asking for refreshed and renewed, focused clarity, okay? To get movement and start making progress in the areas you need to make progress. Okay. Oh God. What can you caution someone about the intranquil spirit on an X? I have, if you go to my website and you look up intranquil spirit work, I have a link there to my blog entry about that. So that will tell you just about everything you need to know about about what I think you should pay attention to with intranquil spirits. Sorry. uh, Motivation and concentration towards education. Yes, I do. I recommend my Clarity and Create oil is what I recommend. And also working with Mama and Brigitte because she rules academics. I have carpets, so can't sweep them, but you mentioned floor wash with Florida water. And was it blue ink? Not sure. Bluing. It's called Bluing. If you look up on my website, you'll find out what it is. You can read about it there. And it doesn't matter if you're sweeping or vacuuming, the idea is the same. So just, I don't have any carpet in my home. I have hardwood floors. That's why I say sweeping. But vacuuming is the same idea. So that it doesn't matter if you're sweeping or vacuuming. It still applies. Is there a way to cleanse my homes of energies when my roommates are so different spiritually and their energy is prominent? What have you been doing so far so I'm not being redundant? Is what I would ask. Write a book, Mama Sarah. Well, a lot of people have asked me that for a lot of years. So I'm starting to toy around with the idea. But again, I don't want to be redundant. There's so many books out there right now that I feel like pretty much anything I'm going to put out has already been said a million ways. So, we'll see. We'll see. No, Maman Brigitte is spelled Maman. Brigitte, Brige, no, Itte. Maman Brigitte. I've used Palo Santo when they aren't home. That's probably not strong enough. I would probably recommend some frankincense. If you have really stuck residual energies, that's what I would recommend moving those out. I have small children. Do you have any tips for keeping little hands up altars, offerings, and candles? I would say how small are your children? Because my children have grown up with my work, and you just have to be very aware and have your altars set up and teach them that that is a place to respect and that we don't go there. Just like we don't touch knives, we don't get into the cleaning cabinet. Hi, there's hairs. So just basically the same thing is you're going to teach them, like I said, to stay away from cleaners and, knife, things like that. You'll teach them the same respect. So that's the whole idea. Can you imagine floor water and blue ink on my kitchen floor? Yeah, not ink. Yeah, so just, and I think the younger the age, actually, the better, because it starts to really instill that respect and knowledge in them, that it's special, it's sacred. You can even have them get involved in it. They can put out alterings, offerings. You can have children participate in those. That's super easy and super fun. Do you get exhausted from your workings and how do you deal with it? Your work is amazing. I do not, because it's kind of like a muscle that you exercise. Like the more you do it, the stronger it gets and the longer you can go, the more stamina you have. So I think just because I've been doing it so long, and I also take really good care of my physical body and my spiritual body, that I don't get that. So I keep a really strict schedule, make sure that there's time for work and time for personal things, time for um, things that I have to do to make sure that I'm prepared, that I'm taken care of, so that I can fully function. So those are important to not neglect those or forget about those things. And that, like I said, that will, the more you build up that muscle, the stronger it'll be, and like the more stamina you can have to do something. I'm also really careful about how many clients I take in a week, and what my workload is like. So it's not just, compounded one after the other, after the other, after the other. I have breaks, and I only take so many clients a week. And you know, I, um, if I have to decline work, then I do. Can you, you guys are cracking me up with some of these questions. Um, I work in a hospital. How do I go home tired? I think there's a question before that about, I think you can work with indigenous spirits as long as you're giving offerings and respect and honor to them. So I think anybody can work with any. There's nothing wrong with giving honor and offering and respect to any spirit, whether it's related to your culture, your heritage, or your ethnicity. So if you're doing it from a place of love and respect, and you're not asking them for anything, it's that you can. I don't see any issue with that. I'm sorry, that was just quick. I wanted to touch on there. I work in a hospital. I go home tired. What do you recommend? I do it as a cleansing. I have an oil that I offer, and it's called Psychic Defender. And I have one called Aura Suavis. And I really recommend that you look into either of those or both of those. Those are really good for people in your line of work. And it's very important that you take care of yourself after being in that line of work where you're constantly caring for other people. So, Crown Jewel, hi, Mama Sarah is the best. She does that work, high quality products and effective workings every single time. I give her so many things. Thanks, Crown Jewel. How many workings? Oop, I missed it. How many workings can you do in one day? I saw someone did 15 at a time. Wow. 15's a lot. I typically book 1 or 2 days a week, and I would say the total for the week is maybe roughly 8 clients, so about a client a day. 15 workings in a day. That's wow, they must be Superman. What do you suggest to cleanse an item, furniture of energy attachment? Frankincense is what I consider the best to remove residual energies. By frankincense, I mean actual frankincense resin, not not like the stick incense that's scented with synthetic oils or the cone incense. I mean actual frankincense resin. I do crisis and trauma counseling work. What do you recommend for protection before and after work? Oh, it's called Psychic Defender Oil. That's on my site, and so is Aura Suavis oil. Those are both on the sites. And if anybody needs needs to me to email them with the spellings of these things, if you don't understand the words, because a lot of these are new words to some people, okay, you could just email me and I can give you the names then. Bring in good, easy clients. I recommend my business butter and Arabca Sudagere oil for good, easy clients. That is a big thing with prosperity work. When I'm working with my clients that have their own businesses or they're based on project or clients or sales, things like that, people often neglect to bring in good paying clients. That's something that people forget to say a lot. Easy, good paying clients, okay? Because you can get clients and then, they don't pay you for the project. Or you can get clients and they're difficult to work with. Your energies aren't melding. You're not connecting with your ideas and your mindsets. So it's really important to be specific about those areas. Yeah, you guys are welcome. Just A good Ogun ritual. I'm not gonna give rituals on here because I don't really do rituals unless it's for a client or if I'm having a meeting with my sisters in my spiritual group. So I would tell you that he likes pineapples and his colors are green and black. His number is 4. He likes tools and things made out of iron. So if you want to leave him an offering of any of those things, and his day is Tuesday, that would be the best place to start. I would recommend setting up an altar with those items first, and that will begin to start. Your ritual will begin to unfold once you begin to set offerings. It will start to become sort of inherent to you and natural. You'll pick up on what to do next, okay? And then you can develop your own ritual conversation with the spirit, okay? Because that's what we want to do. We don't want to do what everybody else does, how they do it, right? Because that's not our words, it's not our techniques. It has nothing to do with our personality, our experiences. We want to create a ritual conversation. Okay, so then you need to start to develop that yourself, beginning with offerings. That's always how we start, is with offerings. So my neighbor just came over. All the kids are at my house because it's spring break. So I live in a neighborhood with like 15 kids. And like I had like 3 extra kids over here, so I had 5 kids. And I told them to all go upstairs and be quiet. No, I'm kidding, I didn't. But I told them they couldn't have the TV on really loud. So she came looking for her kids and then realized I was working. So she was like trying to like sneak by and be quiet. So bless her heart. I'm looking into getting back. Sorry, guys. It kicked me off. Dating scene. What kind of items do you recommend to help me find a good man with money? Um, I would recommend you look at Cleo May formulas. That would be the first thing I would recommend. So, if you go on my site, you can read about Cleo May formulas, and you're going to want to use things like licorice root, orris root, bergamot, allspice, lemongrass, probably some valerian root. That's really good at attracting people. So those are just a few ideas. I can't spend too terribly long on that. If you want to email me, I can give you better, uh, more concise information about that. Are their use of bodily fluids and working safe? Are they use? Yes, they are. I don't use them because it's a health. That's a health hazard for me. I don't accept bodily fluids from clients to use in work just because it's just a health risk. And I'll same thing with clothing and hair and all that. I don't bring any of that into my home, just energetically wise. And then also, like I said, it's a health hazard. But it absolutely does help to tie your work to the person that you're working on. So it helps tie your work and your energy to the target. I can link my reading list at the end of this video after it goes on YouTube. I'm not going to try to like scoot it in here right now just because I'm trying desperately to keep up with the messages. Oh, that makes sense. I heard the call so loud and clear, then it faded. I wasn't doing consistent offerings. Yeah, there you go. Trying to get my ex back, but need to move from our apartment, and he has left me with all of his stuff. What would you suggest I do? Would returning them to him cause the workings to cancel it? Um, the right thing to do is to return his stuff. But how long has it been? Let me ask you that. Because there's a certain amount of time legally that after somebody has left something there, and I think it's like 6 months or something, that it's considered abandoned and you don't have to return it. Now, that's going to depend on your state, okay? Because state laws vary. So, 8 months, I'd pitch it. Double check at the laws in your state. Here, I think it's 6 months is considered abandonment. So, like I said, double check that, and then I would double check in your territory what the law is for your territory in Canada to see what the abandonment law is. But if he hasn't, if it's 8 months, I would throw it out. I wouldn't. Why even try to dredge up anything or try even take the chance at anything getting stirred up or forget it. Forget it. Oh, you found the list. Yes, if you go down, if you're having trouble with the site, if you can't get to my interviews and things like that on the sites, and most people are on their phones now. I forget that people don't use PCs a lot anymore. And when you're on your phone, you have to scroll down and hit full site on websites in order to get access to my interviews, my reading list, my blog, YouTube channels, things like that. All that stuff to get a hold of my media page and, yada, yada, yada. So, some of these, I knew when I did one on YouTube, I was going to get some creepsters on here, and I was right. I got a couple of creepsters on here. I had to block one of them. I just knew it. I just had that feeling. There's just some things I just know. And I knew it when I got on here. I don't get that on Instagram, but I knew I was going to get it on here. So, oh, hi, Miss Melinda's on here. Hey, I just recommended her to somebody on here. Whoever was on here asking me about developing your psychic gifts, that's who I was talking about. Okay, so she just hopped on here. I don't remember that person's name, and I don't know if you're still on here, but if you are, um, this is who I was talking about. Miss Melinda's on here right now. So, uh, this person says, every live I have attended on YouTube. And I'm assuming you're talking about the creepsters on there. There's always somebody like lurking, like nothing better to do with their time than get on there and like be super creepy. Whatever, you know. I guess. Sure. Can a mojo bag be charged with whiskey? Yeah, you can feed it with whiskey. Whiskey or rum is good. I don't, people don't typically use like vodka or wine or things like that. Nothing, not to say you can't, but that's just typically not what's traditional. So somebody else asked something else on here. Oh yeah, has the trolls. Yeah, I guess so. I love you. I love your Psychic Defender oil. It's amazing. Can I get a bigger bottle? Yes, Bruno. I offer 1 ounce and 2 ounce bottles on my site. You just have to type into the search bar 1 ounce and 2 ounce, and it'll come up that option, and you'll put it in your cart, and you'll fill out the special instructions as to what kind of oil you want. And so, yeah, so that is available for all of my oils. That option is on there. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, Melinda, because I just watched your video this morning, and I saw you had a couple of really, like, I don't, people are so, like, huffy. Like, if you can't answer their question right away, and then they're like, you know, it's the end of the world. How can I connect with my spirits and ancestors? I would first, if you know who you're um, if you know who you're trying to connect to, like you have a great grandmother or something like that, I would get your information about her together, photos of her, maybe things that you have of hers that you owned, or a great grandfather. I'm just saying this as an example. Items you might have, you could talk to your other family members about things they liked. Like my grandpa, his favorite thing was German chocolate cake. So if I feel like doing something extra for my grandpa, who actually helped raise me, he passed 2 years ago. German chocolate cake is the way to go for him because he loved a German chocolate cake. He loved all sweets. He loved Milky Ways and Snickers and Oreos and snack cakes. And I'm surprised he didn't die of diabetes, but he didn't. So, but we had a whole cabinet of sweet snacks for him and a whole cabinet of salty snacks for him. Like he was the snack king. So that's what I would leave out if I was trying to get a connection with my grandpa. Okay. So just things like that, regular offerings, try to learn what they like, try to start with somebody maybe you had a connection to that's passed, and that'll be easier. You Like you always say, it's so important to work on ourselves to be good, honest people. Everything starts with us. Quality person we are, honest truth. Yeah, absolutely. Totally. What do you think about root workers sending jars to customers to do work themselves? I do offer that. I offer a honey jar sort of set on my site. So people who have a hard time like acquiring those things, um, they could just sort of buy the basic starter set on my site. Some people don't know what to put in it or whatever. I wouldn't do that for every single thing, but yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Visible altars and spiritual items to home visitors that do not want to involve in your practice. I mean, if they don't want to be involved in it, then I don't think it's going to come up. If they're just uh, if they're just like, are they asking you about it? I guess I would need more context. I don't know if they're asking you about it or what. Um, I find that people use curiosity as an excuse for them to try to correct you or talk about themselves. I think curiosity is a big excuse. You don't have to satisfy anyone's curiosity. I think that curiosity is just a very sneaky way of saying, I'm going to mention this to you so you're on the defensive because I want you to explain to me why you think you're right so then I can tell you why I'm actually right. So that whole, oh, I was just curious. Oh, I just asked because I was curious. That is such BS. You asked because you wanted to start some shit. Okay? If you want to stir the turd, just say you want to stir the turd. That's not, don't be, let's not beat around anything here. You know, I hate that curiosity thing. If it's somebody who genuinely wants to know, they'll know how to approach you. So I don't know of anyone in particular. I'm just trying to, yeah, I would just leave out basic offerings, water, citrus, fresh flowers. Just start leaving out basic offerings and see, what sort of vibe you start getting. See who shows up. Just start journaling, daily what you notice, what you're seeing. I would not work with those ancestors. You can choose which ancestors you work with. And there's also, okay, so this is the thing. If you specifically know you had an ancestor who would not be down with you as a person, you're still going to have that attachment to it if you tried to work with that. Okay. I personally don't think, I think when after somebody passes that you ascend from that point. You ascend from, being judgmental. You ascend from bigotry. You ascend from, um, you know, hating others, or I don't think that that's something that exists in the next realm because those are human qualities and human traits. So I don't believe in those things still exist. But if you still, even though that's true about people, even though I think that's true about people after they passed, you may still have the association with that person that they were an awful person, and so you don't want to work with them, and that's fine, and that's why I'm telling you not to do that. So, because you are going to have a hard time getting past it, and there are other people you can work with. Okay, to do offerings to someone you know who would enjoy the offering, would you just put on your altar or gravesite? I don't quite. Let me see if I didn't get that. When you do offerings, would it be okay to do offerings to someone you know who would enjoy the offering? I do both. I do both. I take offerings to graves I know, and then most of my offerings go to graves that I don't know because especially really old graves or children that didn't have a chance for anybody to get to know them. There are 5 children in particular that all died at one time in the cemetery that is actually right next door to me. I think must have been either a disease or a fire, some sort of big accident like that or something. Um, an uncontrollable event anyway. And since nobody got to know them, there's less people to go see them. So I always make a point to give offerings and honor to children's graves. So that's something that you can think about. Hi, everyone. What's in the pot? I don't know what that means. Is that like a rock reference? Like, can you smell what's cooking? I don't know what that is. Just making sure. What do you think about working with jinns? I don't work with jinns. I don't. That's not my culture or my path. So I don't work with jinns. If we didn't have these thoughts about people, we would be putting ourselves in danger. We need to judge someone in their. I don't need to judge anyone, so I don't know what that is about. Maybe you feel the need to, but I don't. So I have probate course pending now for a year and inheritance. How can I speed up the case? Thank you. I recommend working with Oya. Oya is ruler of, she controls, she helps with legal matters and she also helps with monetary flow. So I recommend you work with Oya. Her day is Wednesday. Her offerings are like 9 copper pennies, yams, eggplants. Her colors are orange, maroon, dark purple. Look up Oya and do some offerings to her. Is it okay that every time I go past the cemetery, I say hello to spirits? Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm sure they love it. I'm sure that they appreciate that. How do I decipher who is good or bad to have in my life? Well, it's just a feeling I get. I can spot a loser from a mile away. So I just don't associate with them. How do you work with red brick dust? Um, I put it around the perimeters. I put it at the gates of my yard, and I put it at the main entrance to my home. Should you get consent from others before doing work? No, I don't. You don't need to do. You don't need to get permission to do healing work for others. I don't think anybody would be like, "No, don't help me heal. Don't make me feel better." So no, I don't. I don't feel the need that you have to ask for permission to do um, benevolent work at all. So most people would probably be um, most people would be glad for the help. You know. How do I honor my ex who committed suicide? I would again recommend leaving offerings to that person. You would know the things that they liked the best, so I would set those things out for them and try to uh, speak to them, talk to them, comfort them with things that they like, things they enjoy, things you shared, experiences you shared together. No, I don't think so, Amber. I don't think I jealous isn't the right word I would use for Elegwa. You can still honor other Orisha just because you're crowned Elegwa. So, Tia, you look like you should probably have you what books have you read? It looks like you probably need to do some it looks like you probably need to do some studying on just the basic mechanics and theories of magic. So there's a recommended reading list on my site because that's not really something you're asking me to explain something here that is really in depth. I can't really go into it on a live chat. So it looks like you really need to study the theories and the mechanics of spiritual work. So I would recommend that you start to delve into some good books and do some research that way. Could I give lottery tickets to my ancestors or aunt who passed away for a few months? She was so, yeah, she would love it. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. I think that's an awesome idea. Oops. Doo, 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 doo. I'm trying to read these. Uh, I don't know anything about ringing in my ears. Sorry, my ears don't ring. Um, is uh I don't. If you know you're not doing right by her, then I suggest you change your actions and behaviors. That's really all I can say about that. Um, if you live in an apartment, how do you lay down tricks where you, uh, I guess I would need to know more what you're doing actually. Typically you put things in front of people's doorways, so I would use things more like salts and powders for people who are in apartment buildings. But I would need to know exactly what you're trying to accomplish. So, no, offerings are absolutely not only food. Offerings are offerings can be objects. No, no, that's something that should be specified for sure. I'm just trying to keep up with the reading. I'm actually going to check off really soon. An hour flew by. Um, but thank you guys so much for participating on here. There was some awesome stuff. There was some great people that I love seeing on there. It was great seeing Melinda. Again, any of you looking for coaching or psychic development, gift development, spiritual development, Miss Melinda's metaphysical services, you can find her online. Um, See, there you go, right there. She's helping somebody right there with developing clear audience. Um, ooh, trying to. Yeah, thanks, Melinda. I'm not a self-confidence coach, sir. So I can't. This is a chat about spirituality. I'm not anybody's confidence coach or personal coach. So I'm sorry. I don't give tips on how to build self-confidence. Yeah, this live will be going onto my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to refer to it. Let me try to take a couple more, guys. What items can I use to get rid of horrible management where I work? Baby little. I would recommend a Boss Fix oil. Use it to dress the chairs and the desks. I'm gonna try to do these once a week. Road opening candle is orange. Um, I don't know what that means either. I gotta log off here, guys. Any tips to boost the luck in my gardening this spring and summer? Yes, I recommend get a farmer's almanac and try planting by the moon phases. That really helps with a lot of people. It helps with me too. Starting certain seeds and starting certain crops during certain moon phases. So. Okay, guys, I hope it's been awesome talking to you. Thank you so much, all like 45 of you that showed up. I'm so appreciative. It was a great chat. I'm gonna try to do these once a week. Um, yeah, I'm gonna try to do it once a week. I can't give you an exact day right now. Mondays or Wednesdays are gonna be like the 2 days for sure. I can't narrow it down to that, but thank you all so much. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to all the questions, and I'm sorry if I was speaking really quickly. There was like a lot to read, so I was trying to just sort of condense. Um, so yeah, we're just trying to get everyone in here and say hello to everyone and remove people who shouldn't be here. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy your Monday. Have a beautiful week. Hopefully, I will see you next Monday or next Wednesday. And y'all have a beautiful, blessed, bright, and abundant week. Okay? Bye. See you soon.